Indigenous Rights Radio, because knowledge is power.
The UAE's presidential priorities include a significant language change from previous years, referring to the inevitable and responsible phase down of all fossil fuels. Cultural Survival attended COP28 in Dubai and spoke to some of the delegates who attended the conference.
My name is Laissa Mali. I come from Kenya, from the indigenous communities of the Maasai in northern Kenya. Our organization, which is Impact Trust, Impact stands for Indigenous Movement for Conflict with Impact, Indigenous Movement for Peace Advancement and Conflict Transformation. We have a program under climate resilience and adaptation. For climate change in our communities, as a storyteller, I can say it has affected a lot of things. That's our livelihoods, our indigenous economies, our culture, our traditions. This is because when we are experiencing these climate changes, some of our community members have lost 80 to 100% of their animals, and this is how we support our livelihood through all the cattle we raise, sheep, goats, and all that. So that has led to poverty. And if poverty, it leads also to conflict, because now communities have to move from one place to another in search of pasture and water. And when they go to maybe other communities or neighboring counties, as we say in Kenya, the resources, the natural resources are depleted or diminishing in some way. So there's conflict of water, there's conflict of pasture, there's conflict over land, because all this supports our livelihood. And in tradition and culture, our communities have stopped practicing some cultural, traditions that you used to perform. Maybe when you're praying for the rain, maybe when you're praying for certain aspects, you find communities are now geared towards surviving for how they will survive for all this prolonged drought. Like recently we've had like a 3 to 4 year drought, and this has costed us as indigenous communities. And in COP, what I'll have to hear is about just transition, about how the developed countries are trying to ease the burden of climate change to the indigenous communities, because we are receiving a triple effect, as we say, and we are the ones who are least emitting. We are nurturers of environment, we take care of our ecosystems, our biodiversity, and yet we are the most affected.
For more on the rights of indigenous peoples, visit ces.org and follow Cultural Survival on Facebook and Twitter, and listen to Indigenous Rights Radio on Spotify.